And now we are live.
Yikes. Hello, everyone. I'll just send this comment. But there we go. Hello to Andrew. Hello to Gerard. Thanks for joining us, guys. Hope you're doing all right on this lovely Wednesday. How are you doing, Tim? How's things?
Well, I need to get my other shoe on. I just have one shoe on so far.
Oh, okay.
You get anything new in the post?
I picked up a few DVDs which I can show a bit later on. But nothing nothing else. Well, I got a book actually at the beginning of the week. I got a book called Harvest, which was recommended to me by one of my subscribers, and it's apparently a true story of alien visitation and abduction. It's quite a creepy story.
Ooh.
It's basically an interview with a woman that claims to have had a visitation or several visitations and abductions. But I'm about halfway through it at the moment. I'm not sure what I make of it. I don't know if I buy it or not, but it's certainly interesting to read. Hey Lester.
Hey guys.
Hey man.
How you all doing?
Good.
Not bad. Not bad. You're looking very orange this evening or this afternoon.
Yeah, it was yesterday's delivery. I ordered it from I think it's an apparel shop that specializes in jiu-jitsu based. It's called Newaza Apparel, which is the Japanese word for ground technique. So like ground fighting, if you call it that. But I thought I like the design. I don't like too noisy of a design, so it's like pretty straightforward, pretty sleek. Plus, I'm not too big on the Bruce Lee tracksuit, but the color is reminiscent of the Bruce Lee tracksuit. And if you saw Enter the Dragon, I think there was some colors on that, so couldn't pass it up.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. What have you got to report this week, Lester? Have you got any pickups or anything exciting happened this week?
Well, there were two packages. I did put out a video on the first one, which was I think I told you about it, maybe not, but it was monoculars with a drone, and then a keychain game machine. Like it's a keychain that you can also play a little game. I think it's Tetris based on the little. It's not colored. Do you remember those old school handheld games that were not colored? It was pretty much like a very basic. I think Tiger was the Tiger Electronics was the brand.
Yeah.
And then a second one, because my sister gifted me the one that was called Gadget Club. I don't know what this one was called. It's only because I don't know if I'm going to ever do anything like that again, like those geek boxes, Loot Crate, anything like
themed.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm in the need to have a regularly scheduled delivery of goodies. It's nice, but I only have so much space in my apartment,
Oh, I'll ask you about the loot crates in a second. Let's just quickly say hello to the monkey who's just joined us. Hello, monkey.
Hi.
Hello, dude.
How are you all today?
We're doing okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Tim's only got one shoe on.
Oh.
No, I've got both shoes on now.
Oh, you've got both on now. Oh, you put the other one on like a ninja, like a. There was a shoe application. Oh,
They're
yeah,
both
cool.
on.
Hey, there's some sweet kicks.
Way to
Good work.
land on your feet, Tim.
Mhm.
I have a question for you, but it's not one I can ask Skeletor. This is you. Since the Taylor Swift AI situation, do you feel that they're gonna start making photos of Skeletor and Evil Lyn that even will make you cringe?
Quite likely, yeah. Yeah, are you talking about the AI generated images?
Yeah, I'm just worried for the future of Skeletor and Evil Lyn and all of those, because what
But here-
happens if, like, all I'm saying is I hope in the future nobody, I mean, since you allow people to send you photos on Twitter, I would hate for them to say, Skeletor, can you explain this? And they send you a photo of Whiplash and Evil Lyn. So I'm just saying,
Um,
I don't, yeah, I just hope that doesn't happen. But what's your opinion on that scary future?
I mean, I don't mind if people want to send weird pictures in, and stuff. I think it'd be quite good fun. Some of these AI generated images are actually really good.
yeah,
Um,
I'll say, and the ones I've come across, particularly when it comes to comics and anime, particularly with the females, I noticed a common theme with the facial expressions. Like you got the big, rounded. Hope people don't get offended, but this is the only way I can describe it. Big, slanted eyes with little nose, little mouth, and that's like a common theme. No matter if we're talking X-Men, Street Fighter, Dragon Ball, but
yeah,
that's what you'll notice in AI generated art. Like you'll find some common aesthetic or algorithmic aesthetics drawn into the faces. So it's
yeah,
like you almost kind of see there's a recurring theme in the way that art is done. Like that's AI. And like you said, there are some that are well done. Like there was one I just came across of a Fatal Fury character, Mai Shiranui. Like,
okay,
oh, that is AI. Okay, well, that's another thing to chalk up in my memory bank and so forth. And I get it. I only hope that people can see AI art for what it is and how predictable it can be and has become in certain properties, and that
yeah,
one can see that one is not AI driven. You know what I mean? I think there's a way to draw that distinction probably more easily than what people want to believe. So it's
So
like,
you feel that there's a common aesthetic with some of the AI in this kind of anime kind of
yeah,
style.
yeah. The faces are kind of big, eyes are big and slanted, and the nose are itty bitty. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't. I don't know what the appeal is to that. Like the like. I don't mind people redoing certain characters, no matter like we're talking X-Men and so forth. But some like no, I don't, that's not so and so. Fill in the blank character. Like the most common one I've seen on my Coop Face feed, Facebook, Rogue. Like there are many attempts to redoing Rogue, but because of when I came in contact with that character, that so for me that was the 92 animated series and go, that's Rogue. Or some of the stuff I got from the comic books, or even depictions in publications like Wizard. I think that was Wizard. Yeah. It was like a old school comic book centric publication. I don't know when they went under, but basically there are people they're like Jim Lee. That's where I'm going with it. Jim Lee's version of the X-Men, the hand drawn, and like, okay, that's cool. But when it comes to all these other types of aesthetics, some work, some don't. I'm just saying.
Right.
But yeah, I know where Monkey's going. I understand the concern, but based on what I've seen, people can call it out like that. They can see it from a mile away. I don't know about you, Monkeyboy, but I would imagine if you came in contact with as much, you might say, "Yeah, I see a pattern here." You know, and
Yeah, I have noticed that with some of the stuff that I've seen. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's a way out of it though. I think if AI gets the impression that that's what's popular, that's what it's going to keep pushing, and I think it's unfortunate because some of this AI generated art is actually really good. It's just that common theme that's running through it that's kind of not always appropriate.
and the thing is, I don't know if it's going to be an issue, and if it is going to be, I'm not going to be surprised. The only thing would be how soon, how big. Intellectual property. Who owns it?
Yeah.
Is it the algorithm, and if it's the algorithm, who owns it?
Yeah.
Is it the one who crunched the numbers? Is it that's why, especially the trends among the young folk, and in some ways, I'm kind of glad. I hope it's an organic coming back. So I don't know if it's like that in the UK, but at least in the US, based on my recent visitation to the Retro Gaming Expo, vinyl's making a comeback. And,
okay.
I don't know if it's like that where you're at, Monkeyboy, but I think in some ways vintage, fill in the blank, is making a comeback. I think in some like film cameras, like my brother-in-law is big into film photography, just because of the oversaturation of the digitization or the digital phenomenon that has occurred over the last 10, 20 years. And I'm thankful for it. My sister has a job because of it, but there is something to be said of the aspects of the physical and traditional methods of doing X, Y, or Z. Like that, I will lend credence to hand drawn, and something like this little Legend of Zelda Lego keychain that I got from part of the gift box that I got from my sister, the second one. The nice thing about this one, I still don't know what to do with it because it comes with a sword and a shield.
Oh, cool.
It's like I don't know if I'll have him sport the shield and sword if I were to make it a real keychain. You know what I mean? It's like it's got this. What do I do with this?
Just want to say hello to Dean from All Things 80s, who's joined us. Anyone else jumped in, Tim? Can you see?
Joe Dubecki is back. He says,
hello.
Hi, everybody. It's been a while since I've been here.
Hello, Joe. We've got Delvian in the chat as well. Hi, Delvian. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Yep.
So yeah, you're mentioning Lester about these kind of loot crate things, and I was just wondering if any of the rest of the panel have got any experience with any of those kind of mystery box things. Tim, have you ever had any of those?
And no, I've never had any mystery box things aside from something like a grab bag. I've had one time for Christmas years ago when I was a young kid. I had my mom buy me one of these gift balls where you would unwrap it and there'd be little toys inside of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice, but I think I told you guys before that usually when I did that, it was more so to get the T-shirts, because if you got the right plan, you say you pay $30 a month, right? $30 a month already pays for the T-shirt itself, and which I don't know about you guys, but $30 for a T-shirt. Fill in the blank description. I kind of think it's absurd. Am I wrong? $30 for a T-shirt.
I mean, it seems a little steep, and I guess it depends on the design you get. A friend of mine did a 12-month subscription to one of these type of promotions, and I think he was half of the stuff he got he was okay with. The T-shirts and stuff were okay, but he was also finding that he was getting lots of kind of absurd books. Like I think he got a Star Trek book that was like part 2 or part 3 of a series, and he was like, what am I going to do with this? That, I haven't got the other parts. It seems like it might be a way for these companies to offload a lot of stock that they're sitting on, and just to get it out of the door.
Right. And it's just something that when I asked the question, am I a collector? Maybe not to the level a lot of people in the community are, or in the culture. Because I think toy collecting is a culture in itself, not just a community. And it's just funny being in this certain circle I'm in, there is a distinction between being part of the community and a culture of doing that. So by that, with these mystery boxes, I'll get trinkets that I may not have a real investment or a personal attachment to. Like, believe it or not, I'm going to see if I can pull it off. Hang on a second. Because one of the things was a little figurine of a He-Man and a Skeletor, but it was colored pink.
Oh, cool.
And I would like that, but it's just... And then there's also one that I had this Skeletor thing that I probably didn't think I had the time for. It was like a Lego Skeletor.
Oh, cool.
It's like, yeah, I'll put it together, but at some point. So it's like a hit or miss with a lot of these. If you're not, it's like, there are some things I would like to know what comes in the box before I make an investment on it, especially if I'm not looking to subscribe. But if you're like one of those that don't mind the random nature of those things, sure. And if you feel like you need to build a collection of some sort, sure. But I'm at a point where I'm more intentional about what I want to have in my possession. So, like, as much as I like the Action Force line from Valiverse, I'm going to be picky. It's like, does that pull my strings, if you will? And the thing is, I'm not the most vigilant on my finances. I'll be the first to admit that there was a stretch of time that I tried to stay away from recurring payments. Particularly ones if you're not really on top of the scheduling. Like if I was really as obsessive compulsive as I know I can be, I would have all these reminders, whether that's calendar or some software managing my finances. Oh, you're due for this subscription. You're due for that subscription. And it's like, oh, there goes $20 a month on there.
Yeah.
It just adds up if you're not careful. That's pretty much what I've found with those boxes. I mean, it's nice. Yeah.
It's not something I'd want to do because I've never been a gambler. I don't want to gamble on getting a box full of crap that I don't need.
Yeah. Like I ended up regifting it, and my brother-in-law didn't mind that I regifted I think I did. It was I intended to. It was a little figure of a Deadpool doing a selfie for himself. Like, I like Deadpool. I like Deadpool, but it's not something I would put in my collection because it's for me the level of fandom isn't what I'm not. I would say I like Deadpool, but I'm not a fanatic of Deadpool.
Yeah,
does that make sense? It's like I like the movie. It's cool. I laughed. The humor is cool, but it's just that it's not my following. Like for me, if I say if I'm attached to any one thing, let me show you what I got. Again, this is part of the second box my sister gifted. So Turtles, Yeah, this is a Turtles comic book, right? Yes. Right?
Okay.
G.I. Joe, sure. Snake Eyes, hell yes. So it's just like I didn't, if I knew that I was going to get that in the box, I would buy it like a la carte. That's where I would go.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to catch up with some of the chat, Tim?
Yeah, and Andrew saying, at the cons over here, the mystery boxes are popular items to sell. My cynical experience is they often pack them with items that wouldn't sell by itself. They often tease that one item has some special value.
Right.
Yeah. Like when I was still doing Geek Fuel, like I said, the shirts paid for themselves. Like there were some things like I didn't care for. Like I said, I ended up regifting a few things. Like I regifted I think I got like a Little Mermaid something, and then I gave it to my younger sister just because I remember she was taking a college course in vocals and she was singing the Little Mermaid song. It's like, here you go. And she didn't mind, but I loved they hit the spot with the t-shirts though. Like I got a Space Invaders, I got a Mario samurai themed Mario slaying a dragon style Bowser Koopa. I thought that was cool, and it was in the color I liked it. I got Punch Out. Like it was funny. I was at a martial arts seminar, and each guy had a geekdom type shirt, except for one that said violence. That was it was themed in the Coca-Cola logo, but it said violence. On the back, it said enjoy it. But everybody else was wearing like funky, geeky shirts, like you would think, like a martial arts workshop. What, guys? Yeah, I'm sorry. Martial arts and people in that community, we could be geeky too. We're not overly testosterone filled, last I checked. But yeah, they're like Target. I don't know if Target. They used to have like these shirts you can get for $10, but I haven't stepped foot into a Target until I picked up like my espresso pods. but other than that, no. No, I told my sister. I said, yeah, thanks for that. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would subscribe to a service like that because I'm a pretty skeptical shopper, so I do a lot of window shopping online, and then sometimes I do window shopping at the stores. But that's because I want what I'm putting in my home.
Well, I think the general consensus from looking at some of the comments in the chat is most people don't rate these subscription boxes very highly at all. Jason said that it was a waste of money.
Sure.
Well, if I may chime in,
sure.
What a lot of people do is that when they buy it, they keep what they like, and then they sell the other pieces like the shirts and other things online, and then they make their money back that way.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I've yet to see anyone open a loot box where I liked all the items inside. There might be one item in there that's okay, maybe the T-shirt or maybe a little figure of something that you like, but for the most part, I think they're a bit of a waste of time. Let's just go back and catch up with some of these chats because there's been quite a lot of chats coming through. Do you want to do these, Tim, or do you want me to?
Why don't you go ahead?
Okay, so let's have a look here. Gerard is saying hello to everyone. Andrew is explaining that he was on vacation. If you guys can remember from last week, Andrew said that he'd been to Antarctica, which was
yes,
which was rather exciting. That's very exciting stuff. Andrew's saying that your orange shirt, Lester, reminds him of the Marvel Comics character The Thing. It's clobbering time.
It's clobbering time.
Some of the guys saying hi to Dean. Jason's saying that Dean's video with the snow speeder and the A-Team van was very good. Yeah, I enjoyed that video. That A-Team van, the tires on it were absolutely incredible. I've never seen tires like that on anything before. They were so aggressive. But yeah, it was a nice little item. Let's have a look. Gerard's saying something about the entry point to the center of the earth where the reptilians reside. Not quite sure what that's about, but yes, I mean that's quite possible, isn't it? And Joe, Joe's saying he started a new job on January 1st. Is it January 1st today?
It's the 31st, so tomorrow is.
Oh my
tomorrow
gosh!
Is February 1st.
So Joe's starting a new job. I hope that goes all right, Joe. Congratulations, sir. Andrew's saying that the states are not giving intellectual property protection to AI generated work. So if you monetize it, it's at your own risk at the moment. You can't claim IP protection for anything that's created by AI, which I can see why. I can see why they haven't done that. I mean, I think this whole AI thing, stuff like ChatGPT and these AI generated artworks, I think it's going to cause it's really going to muddy the waters when it comes to sort of the legalization of images and other creative output. I think it's going to cause a problem.
I noticed that almost with services I use for work, as basic as email, the predictive algorithm, like, did you mean to complete your sentence? Hit tab to complete this sentence. And then Gmail goes, shall we unsubscribe you from this? Because I haven't responded to that. Like, I don't know. I as much as I can, I don't try to feed the beast, which is why I run the version of Android I do, which it's called Graphene OS, and it's touted as, hey, Google, you're not going to have any footprint in this system. So if people buy like a Pixel-based phone, which is Google's flagship, Apple has the iPhone, Google has the Pixel. That is their vision of Android. And with that, because I've used the Pixel line for years, if you go into the systems, in the apps or in the system settings, you'll find Google this, Google that, Google this, Google that. All these Google footprints in your system. And hate to say it, tinfoil hat considered, it's like I'm very leery about what I want Google to keep track of. You know what I mean? So I don't even use the Google keyboard. I don't even use an assistant. You know how people like to say, hey, Siri, hey, Google. I don't bother with that.
Right.
I haven't
I've never done that.
I haven't plugged in my Amazon Echo Dot for the longest time. My Google Home Mini, I was gifted during a white elephant. It's not connected to my Wi-Fi because that's a prerequisite. That's a prerequisite to begin its AI collection.
Yeah. Well, nothing is safe once you connect to these systems. I mean, they're listening and recording all the time, aren't they? So, I mean, that's your privacy right out the window.
Well, if I may say one thing, it's the same thing when you turn on a game system game. Like, for example, you may think that I got this one game that I'm so happy about, trying to find where I put it. Oh, okay, yeah. One second. This reminded me of the old Wolfenstein and they did this. But the big difference is when you first turn it on, they ask you, do you accept this privacy agreement saying we can get all your information and track everything you do in the game and share your gameplay and share your information and whatever creations you make in it. And it's kind of like what he's saying, but it's like now in order to play a fun game, you have to say yes to basically what he was saying.
Yeah.
And they've made it a part of all these games that you have to give permission for all. I mean, there's even game system games where like for example, the Call of Duty games, it will learn from what you make your characters do, your fighting style, so that like if you want to do like a match or if your friend can't make it, they can so it's just kind of creepy like that,
That's why if I were to redo my gaming setup, especially with the new baselines I've thought about, like graphical stuff, though nice, they don't always guarantee a fun game experience, right? So basing off of what you just gave us with regards to Wolfenstein on the Xbox One, I am very hesitant to get a new game system made within the last maybe 3 to 5 years. So like I'm going to say no to a PS4, no to a PS5, maybe yes to, well, especially yes to a PS2, given, believe it or not, it has had the longevity it has had until the PS3, and PS3 is like my breaking point. If I really want a tinfoil hat gaming experience, that's about as modern as I will go. Otherwise, I have my trusty Genesis / Mega Drive.
Excellent.
And
yeah, go ahead.
And I have one thing that's going to blow your mind. Games, even online games on the Xbox and the other systems, have loot boxes as well.
Nothing like a video game and waiting 3 hours for it to load to update. Yeah, that's the other thing too, and especially depending on the publisher of the game. So I think it's either Bethesda. I think it's Bethesda that's had the reputation of, hey, we'll have the community fix our bugs for us. I think that's the reputed thing about Bethesda, that when they push a game out in its initial release, it's going to be chock full of bugs, which then they'll have the community do instead themselves.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, it used to be like you worked out the kinks before your final release because you were worried about that you would get flamed for releasing a crappy game from the beginning. But even then, with the hardware wars going on at the time, I think it was like the PS3, when it started with the PS3 or maybe even the PS2, like we'll wait until this or that iteration of the hardware, like they say, we'll work out the bugs and the kinks. Installing grown to hate the word.
Yeah,
I get it.
I was just reading the comments here. Sorry, Gerard, I didn't make the connection when you were talking about Andrew's adventure to Antarctica. I didn't make the connection to the reptilian underground base. Sorry, man. I was not on the ball. Reading movies has made a point here, because Andrew said that there's nothing like popping in a new video game and waiting 3 hours for it to update. And reading movies says he thought it was bad when we were kids and had to wait 10 minutes after pressing play. Yeah, I mean, the old Spectrum loading, you would load your game and you would listen to it making that weird noise for however long until your game had loaded up.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember the good days when all you had to do to get your Nintendo 64 game to play is blow into it, put it in, and you start the game.
Wait, blowing into
Yeah,
the cartridge
yeah.
still a thing back in the 64? Because I remember owning a Super Nintendo, and I don't remember having to do the trick. Not like NES cartridges in the day. Well,
I
it's
think
funny because yeah, go ahead.
I think they should have put that in the instruction manual. You know, there should have been a page at the back that says, you know, a troubleshooting section. Step 1, remove cartridge. Step 2, blow into cartridge. You know, that should have been in every manual.
But it's really interesting because when I was working at the old .com, so I think I told you guys I worked at a e-tailer, which dealt with video game accessories. And my friend was very concentrated in focusing the retro scene.
Right.
The company at the time I worked for was Hyperkin, which brought out the Retron series of consoles. So, it was part of that whole turnaround in the retro scene. But he was doing a lot of deep dives, and a lot of it was these the cartridge slots. You could actually buy them by the part for the NES. The cartridge slots where you put the cartridges in. A lot of it is messed up contacts that you could do certain things with that. Oh, okay. And I think there was an article out, but I forget which publication that kind of debunked the whole thing, the placebo effect of blowing into the cartridge. Like, well, it worked for us, but
it definitely worked.
Commodore 64 guys, the loading deck for the. Oh, speaking of cassette, I couldn't pass this case up just because I know I don't put my phone in a case, but I just couldn't pass this kind of case up because I'm sure have people's heads turned because, especially new guys, like, come on, you haven't run a pencil through one of these. In some ways, I do miss the cassettes, just because I think what happened with the whole CD generation is that you can easily skip and seek. You don't like that track, hit skip. That's the only thing I appreciate it, and I don't appreciate with CDs or anything where you can just skip a track. But man, it was. Yeah, go ahead.
But then, don't you remember if you did that for a lot, like say if you got a CD and the 6th track was your favorite track, and so you always skipped to the 6th, it would eventually get to where your songs would skip. Because because it stretches each time you skip it. So if you like did that enough times, it would get to be where you'd be listening. Like, say if you gave track number 1 a listen, then it would skip into track 2 and track 3 because they got so used to just jumping from one to another, it created a little line in the disc.
Really?
Good to know.
I didn't know that.
That's kind of why if you get a disc, if you see like this little line on your DVD or something that you don't think is a fingernail, if somebody didn't like the movie or scene, and so they just skipped to the next one.
Hey, I wanted to ask Andrew the question to elaborate on Casingle. Because I don't think I've ever heard of that reference made to. I think he's talking about cassettes, but I wanted to know if there was what that reference meant in terms of Casingle. I don't. That's the first time I've come across it.
Let's have a look.
Oh,
hey Kim, how you doing? Nice to see you, milady.
Hey Kim.
Hi
Kim.
I can't see the comment about the single.
He spelled it like, how we have cassette, and then he just.
Oh, single. I see it. Yeah.
That's the first time I've heard of that reference, but I don't think I've ever I don't think I've ever physically used an 8-track, but I know the reference to an 8-track. I might have seen it in motion in
Yeah,
some.
I think my parents must have had an 8-track because when I was younger, I was going through the attic in my parents' house and I found a box of 8-track tapes and I had no idea what they were. I was like, "What is this? This is
Yeah.
bizarre." But they didn't have a
my
player.
parents had one.
Okay. Is it basically just like a cassette but bigger?
Yeah, it's a bigger cassette, but you could like on a CD where you can switch tracks, you could switch tracks on an 8-track tape.
Oh, really?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you still have one in your possession, Tim?
I think we have one that's built into this stereo system where there's a cassette player recorder and then there's an LP turntable on the top. But I don't know if it's still. I don't know if the 8-track part.
Now I get what.
cool.
Now I get Andrew's reference based on what you just described about 8-tracks there, Tim. So thank you. So it's just like, oh yeah. That makes sense. I get it. But it's just funny. Like we humans are as adaptive as the next person, because I know we talk about the whole AI thing and the stuff about physical. It was a good format. The single. Yep, I get you now, Andrew. But it's just funny because we talk about the disappearance or the doing away with physical media, but thank goodness for the right shops to do it, especially with the charity shops where you can find DVDs, you can find vinyl, you can find CDs, you can even find cassettes. But it's just the industry wants you to go one way, but we're going another. It's like I don't want to live in a singly what you might call a what term do I want to use? A single dominated form of media. I don't want to be chained. Like streaming has its place, and I know the studios want to control distribution, but we're resourceful people. We're a resourceful species. We'll find a way to obtain a sense of ownership of whatever it is that we want to get. So if I want to, I have ways, and then some are more obvious than others. But there are ways. If I want to, I can, and if I have to, I will capture whatever Apple TV wants to peddle out there and they don't want us to own. I'll find a way. I'm just saying.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for you. Matey.
But that's what I'm saying is like, as much as we talk about, the old formats, and there are we have a right to say we miss those because some new stuff we may not care for. Some of it is more convoluted for the older audiences. But I like having the right option power. Yeah.
Do you think cassettes will ever make a comeback? Because vinyl never really went away. It just kind of disappeared into the background, but it was always kind of there consistently. But cassettes seemed, I thought they were dead, but sort of recently there have been some releases on cassette for the retro crowd. So do you think they might make a comeback, or is it just a fad?
There were some cassettes being sold at the Retro Gaming Expo for like game music, which, I mean, beyond a novelty, I mean, back in 2005 or 6, I don't know what I did with it, but I still had a working Walkman, right? A working Walkman. All I hoped for was that the headphone jack still worked. And I think the one that I had in question did have a speaker out, so I didn't have to have a headset. But the playback on the cassette module still did the job. So I did buy like a Chinese language cassette tape where when I was really into that nerdy function of transcribing audio cassettes to digital, I had a way to do it. I had a way to do it, you know, and that's what a lot of people, when they really think about it and they try to fuse modern tech with the old. Like my mom, for the longest time, was trying to, or maybe both my mom and my dad, they were looking for ways to get the old 8 mil, 9 mil camcorder tapes. They all wanted that to, they were looking for ways to transcribe that type of media into digital. And it's like,
yeah,
they last. They somehow last. You have to do something idiotic to break a 9 mil tape or 8 mil tape, or even or even a standard cassette. You have to do something idiotic to break it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though you pull it out of the player and you see the ribbon, like, oh my God, what am I to do? Take the pencil, turn it in the way that will make it all good and well. Oh, it plays back just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a few tapes that got eaten by the player. I don't know quite what used to cause that, but sometimes you would get it and it would just come out in a big mess. But hello to Tom, by the way. Hello, dude. Thanks for joining us, man. The
hi,
old
Tom.
pencil, the old pencil in the old thing, twisting it round. Yeah, I remember doing that.
Yeah, well, Joe Dubecki says cassettes are far more prone to entropy.
Yeah.
And then reading movies is saying problem with VHS and audio cassettes is the degradation of the format. Vinyl can sit in an attic for centuries and still work. Magnetic tape doesn't.
The one consideration I'm hearing, and I just got this from watching the physical media, the Fanzine is the channel, and it has collaborations with Midnight's Edge. And the top, because Midnight's Edge runs a physical media show whenever they have the opportunity to schedule it. The term that I came across from them is DVD rot, and that's something to consider. Like the biggest thing for me in CDs at the time, and what made me want to buy my albums, was because I had control over the source media. Oftentimes, when you download a digital file, we don't know how good the integrity of that digital file is. And I can tell based on some of the tracks I downloaded in the past, you can tell that they were glitchy. So I wanted control over that. But at the same time, with the CDs, they had a tendency to get scratched and whatever. And then the term DVD rot being mentioned by Midnight's Edge and the way they call the physical media show that they ran, that's another thing I have to consider, because I ran into that with some Blu-rays I tried to bring home. Now, I don't know if it's because my dad's Blu-ray player had some age to it or something like that. You know, you used to buy what they call the lens cleaner for CDs and DVDs. I don't know what you would do for a Blu-ray player, but that's always a concern. Like, you know, if you know how to do it, but digital media, this has no value. Okay, the value is the potential of the how much space or how much stuff you can store. But then the value comes in what you do store in something like that. And that's why it's like, do I want to buy a flash drive or something like a solid state that I don't run the risk of scratches? You know what I mean? That's the main thing I have with disc media, is that you might run into scratches, or I think I've seen some blemishes on the backs of Blu-rays or even DVDs. That's the only thing I have against discs. Otherwise, what I've done with the ones I did buy is I just transcribe them to my computer, because I paid for the Alaska. Oh, is that a VHS? Yep, right on. Yep. I grew up with my dad. So this is.
It's a VHS tape.
Yep.
Tom's saying he grew up with his dad's special edition Star Wars tapes, VHS tapes.
Yeah.
He's got the widescreen and the long screen, and they're currently displayed in his nan's house. Cool. Yeah, I mean, old VHS tapes. That there is that nostalgic kind of displayability to them. I mean, they take up so much room, though. That's the only problem.
My only issue now
Oh,
with my the Star Wars on VHS, right?
is that the remastered one? I think that's the remastered series, isn't it, Monkey? Yeah.
I'll say this.
I had that.
The only struggle I have is, I always talk about going backwards to go forwards. And in this day and age, it is tough to find and have someone ship an old CRT TV or monitor to me. Monitor, I can see. TV, it's like, I could go to the charity shop, but it's like, the charity shop doesn't offer services where they'll like, I can't even say, look, I just live right there, man. Can you help me bring to my apartment? Because I love a good flat screen TV, and I don't mind that my LED monitor is great, but I still have a soft spot for CRT TVs. Just something about that, because when you digitize the image, you can really see pixels stretched out. Like
yeah.
That,
Reading Movies has got a comment here about you were talking about disc rot. He's saying that his Terminator DVD has got disc rot, which he says was a common issue with the MGM DVDs many years ago. I had I've got a box set of the Nightmare on Elm Street films, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, the first disc, the Nightmare on Elm Street, got disc rot. The other ones were fine, but the first one got disc rot. So I bought that again separately because it wouldn't play anymore. And I don't really know why that should be the case with just that one DVD. But anyway.
Yeah, no, that's probably why I'm, as much as I don't mind having a Blu-ray DVD collection, it's just, over time. And that's why I do archive it, so I don't put the wear and tear on discs. So if I want to watch a movie, I just go run off the good enough consumer. It's good enough for me. I like my pen and paper to see. Thank you, Joe. You know what I'm talking about. I need a Trinitron. That's what I was shopping for, like last year, because I figured the TV I'm using as a makeshift for my Genesis / Mega Drive, it does none of the games I play justice, and I feel.
Sorry to interrupt. I feel that we should just acknowledge that Monkey is holding up Gone with the Wind, because I don't think he's going to put it down until we do.
Yeah.
Gone with the Wind on VHS. Yep.
Noted.
Yeah, yep. I can remember in the mid to late 80s, there were like these Gone with the Wind collectible plates. One was had an image of Scarlett O'Hara on it, and another was called like Scarlett and their suitors. So it was just an image of Scarlett with all these guys hovered around her that liked her.
Oh, on a plate?
Yeah. Franklin Mint came out with these collectible plates you could buy where it was just an image on a plate.
Okay.
I have to respond to Dean, and I just felt for him. It's like, you pay so much for a box set, and when you get that happening, I'm like, dang, that's like, I don't know how much he spent for that, but I would imagine if it's a box set, it's more than a standard single DVD or Blu-ray. I'm like, man, you really wonder where they go to have that stuff transcribed onto that disc and what goes into that. And it's like, again, that's a ding against disc again. And you know, I'm rolling the dice on the 4Ks I buy. Like, do 4K discs have the same problem? Would I be surprised if they do? No. But that, again, that's why I transcribe the disc whenever I get them. I put them onto my computer because I have ways of backing them up, whether we're talking online, offline.
Nick from the Action Popcast has joined us in the chat. Good evening, Nick. Good evening to you, sir.
Hi, Nick.
Howdy, Nick.
Yeah, I'm terrified that my DVD collection will get disc rot eventually. I mean, I've got so many DVDs. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I couldn't tell you how many I've got, but I mean, I won't be replacing all of them. There are a few that I've bought on Blu-ray because I found them in the charity shop cheaply. So I've bought the same films that I already own, stuff like the Lost Boys and the Batman films and Star Wars and those sorts of things. But for the most part, my collection is, I would say, 90% DVDs, and I just hope they last the test of time because, you know, there's no way I'm going to sort of replace, you know, 500, 600 DVDs. I don't know how many I've got, but there's an awful lot.
Sure.
Dean's saying that one of the Blu-ray discs in his Batman 66 box set skips or gets stuck. Yeah, that's a bit of a pain in the tits, isn't it?
You can actually buy a device that will clean your discs and take out the scratches.
Yeah, it's like a little. It sort of polishes them, doesn't it? It cleans them all up, and it takes. Is it the one that's kind of takes a layer off?
Yeah, it's kind of the size of like one of those old, huge CD players, but it does the job.
Yeah.
And what you were saying reminds me of a song. If I could turn back time.
Andrew's just confessed that he's a knob man. So.
Huh?
We'll just leave that to sit there for a moment before we move on.
Well, it's 2024. I support all kinds, so no judgment here.
Well, he's talking about the bubble style one with the joystick to draw with Etch a Sketch. It was never as precise as a classic. I guess I am just a knob man after all. That's what Monkeyboy was talking about.
Are there any other chats you want to catch up with on, Tim?
Yeah, I'm just going through them all because if you don't do these quickly, it just gets behind, and I want to go through them all.
Oh, Reading Movies is saying you can clean the rot off of the discs and it will work for a few weeks. I didn't know it could be cleaned off. I had sort of tried to see, but it didn't kind of work. But yeah. Oh, Jason's got the same issue with his Back to the Future because the first one won't play. Oh, Zantara's with us. Hello, Zantara.
Yeah, hi, Zantara. I haven't thought about.
Have you seen that comment, Tim?
Yeah.
Zantara says that you display your Franklin Mint Caligula commemorative plate set.
And Tom, 1980s and Star Wars guy, saying I haven't thought about disc rot. Some of my DVDs, like Back to the Future and the 1989 Batman, are really old.
Yeah.
Great Scott.
And Xantara is saying, hello to Gerard O'Connor, an Action Pop cast. And then Tom saying, my Back to the Future 2 DVD has started to skip, which is gutting.
Jason's saying he's been packing all his Black Series up. Yep. Yeah, I saw your listings on eBay, Jason. You're shifting quite a lot of those, aren't you? Hopefully you'll be successful and able to sell those and move those on. Make a bit of space in your collection and some more money for traveling and whatnot. You can put it in your fund for Thailand.
Well, the monkey, if I may ask, have you been making some purchases from him? So I'm just wondering if we're gonna see some really, like, is that gonna be a surprise for your channel, like that you bought
Black
some
Series
items from him?
No, I think I've got most of the Black Series figures that Jason is selling. There might be the odd one or two that I haven't.
Congratulations!
Yeah. I've
Gold star for you.
I've got quite a large Black Series collection. There are a few older figures that I wouldn't mind getting, but we're looking at 2014, 15. Some of the very early ones. Yeah, the Black Series, because the Black Series started, I think, in 2013. I want to say it was when the line started. I think it was 2013. I might be wrong about that. But there are some of the very first figures that I wouldn't mind getting because they're quite valuable, and obviously they're hard to get. But to be honest, with the archive line, Hasbro are re-releasing figures with updated face sculpts and with the face printing technology. Sometimes they're even going back in and updating the articulation in some cases. And I really like the archive line, so that's a really good way of getting some of the older figures into the collection again. So I'm quite happy with those. But I've got loads of Black Series and stuff. I haven't got many TVC. I've only got about 8 or 10 TVC figures, probably.
Misawa Jar Binks.
Tim, have you opened your Marvel figures yet?
No, I'm still getting caught up with a lot of things. I've been busy, but just the other day I got a couple Star Wars action figures from Monkeyboy. I got the original trilogy Obi-Wan Kenobi figure.
Oh, cool!
With his blue lightsaber. He's got actual cloth goods.
And who produced that?
This was Hasbro after they took over Kenner.
Okay.
But this is one of the better figures that, since it has actual cloth goods, it's not all plastic.
Yeah, it looks cool.
And then I got also from Tungori, I got the Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker from one of the deleted scenes on the old Return of the Jedi Blu-ray. Luke Skywalker in his Jedi Knight outfit and cloak, and where he's constructing his green lightsaber.
Okay, cool. Oh, Tom's got to go because he needs to revise for an English exam tomorrow. Good luck with that, Tom. Hope you get on all right, buddy.
Yeah, English speaking exam. So
English speaking exam. Yeah.
Is English not his first language then, or does he teach people to speak English?
I don't know. I don't know actually. He's probably gone now, so he might not be able to elaborate further on that. But Tom is a very, very well spoken young man. So I would think if he's doing an English speaking exam, he will pass that with flying colours. But perhaps there's something we're missing. Perhaps he is examining other people. I don't know.
And
he's probably gone now.
And Andrew says, do any of you folks use electronics or paper to track your collections? Many of my friends use various paid databases to track their comic book collections, but not me.
Oh, it's a good question, Andrew. About 5 years ago, when I started collecting, I got myself a ledger book, and I wrote in that everything that I had, because I wanted to what do they call it? I wanted to make an inventory of all the stuff I had that I still had from when I was a youngster. So I inventoried all my comic books, all my figures, all my vehicles, and everything. And I kept going for quite a while, but my collecting actually kind of overtook my ability to make notes. I was finding that I was for the Black series, for example, I was leaving several blank pages, thinking, oh well, I'll never fill these pages up, but I'll leave a few blank pages for future purchases. And I found that I was running out of room to make notes of it all, and it all got a little bit on top of me, if I'm honest. So I stopped doing it. So I would say that maybe a quarter of my collection has been inventoried in a book, and the rest is it would be impossible to do now. It would be impossible to do it.
May I say what I would call that, Monkeyboy?
Yeah.
The never-ending story.
Yeah. No, it would. I don't know where I would begin now. Honestly, it would take me weeks to inventory everything that I've got. I've got so many different lines, and I've got doubles of things, and I don't know how I would manage to do that. Honestly, I would have to take a week just to do that on its own. I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest.
I take a photo and then I save it on a hard drive so that I can, when I'm curious, I can always go back and look.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I probably should contact my insurance company and change my insurance policy, because if I ever have a fire or anything in the house, I mean, there's no way I could replace her.
I did that.
Okay.
I'm covered. But I
need to do that.
But I will tell you, if a fire does happen and someone has to take a look at that list, I'll have to visit them in the hospital. Because they'll look at it and then they'll be like, oh my Lord. Oh my Lord.
Yeah. I do have a lot of stuff. It's quite scary, really. I've had to stop buying stuff for the time being, and on my channel I'll be showing stuff that I've already got, that I've already had for years, because the spending was getting a bit out of control. So I need to try and stop that this year a little bit, try and spend a little bit less money and save up for some more tattoos. Priorities, folks. Priorities.
Yep. With you on that one. For me, like I mentioned, I'm not the collector that many are. So because of that, I haven't found a need to do such a thing unless I really, really need to keep track of what I have in my apartment, period. But for me, it's not so I can make sure I have everything I need for a product line. If I had to be for a different, it'd be for a different reason altogether. That's where I would go with it. So,
if I ever run out of room of space, I'll just buy a bigger place.
Hi, Soda Cauldron. He's saying evening, folks.
Soda!
Bye, man. Cheers, dude. How you doing, man?
Everybody needs a soda.
Andrew's saying that his buddy, the Guinness Book holder of comic books, got special insurance for his collection. Some regular policies cap out collectibles. Not sure about the UK. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I would stand with my collection, to be honest. I don't know how I would value it, quite honestly. I would just have to guess. Or spend all day going around with a calculator and adding up everything that I've spent on them. I mean,
oh no, it's quite simple. You just spend months taking it to see how they'd rate each item, and then they tell you how much it's worth, and then you put that into your records, and then you make sure you bring all your records, and then when you have them all the records with each item rated upon how much they're worth, then after they've looked at all those pages, then you visit them in the hospital after they've looked at all your pages.
Yeah. Hey, it's Orville.
Sup, player?
What's up, man?
I'm all good, man. I was just trying to fix my dehumidifier.
Oh.
I understand what you mean. I hate those things. They always leave me with such dry mouth. Reminds me of a different time. But how do you stand the dry mouth? No, him, because of the dehumidifier. It just dries out the air.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I live in England. If I want to be dry, a dehumidifier is pretty essential.
Yeah.
We're pretty cold and damp here.
There are such things as humidifiers, aren't there?
Yeah. And again, in England, open your window.
Yeah.
That's all the humidity.
I think it'd be hilarious to run both at the same time. Have a dehumidifier one side and a humidifier the other, and just run both.
An immovable object meets an unstoppable force. What happens?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, Nick? How's your week been?
My week's been all right. What have I been up to? Working, promoing, working on a new secret show. Secret.
Excellent. So, will this be the next podcast that you do after the one that's coming up?
Well, the APC podcast, the next episode, the next theme. I think me and Kim have agreed it. But this is a show with this is a monthly show with another YouTuber.
That sounds exciting.
Which promises to be somewhat off the rails.
I look forward to further details of that when they're ready.
Well, yeah. You're going to be hearing all about it, mate. Yeah. So yeah, just just.
Of course, this Saturday you've got your Slapped podcast is dropping, isn't it?
It is, yes. 8:15 on the Action Podcast channel. It will also the video will also be going live on our Facebook page, and it will be available shortly after on your preferred podcast streaming service. There will not be an after show stream this time because just there's another stream on of a friend's and we don't want to clash with it, and also we don't it's not a given that we do an after show stream every time. It's just sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, and this time we decided we're just gonna have a chill out this one, just let the show do its thing.
Cool.
I have a question for you about your mystery guest, but I promise it's vague. What country is your mystery guest from? Because I failed you last time because I thought you were talking about somebody from our country. So I just want to make sure I'm not taking it the wrong way this time too.
What you mean the new monthly live stream I'm working on?
No. The guest, is it from your country, my country, what country?
That's what I'm saying, Monkey. Do you mean the guest on the new live stream I'm planning, or on the podcast? Because on the podcast, this week's podcast, there is no guest. It's me and Kim Gonick. It's just the gruesome twosome that is APC.
Well, I was talking about your guest because I took the thing the wrong way, because when you said Orange Man, I thought of Trump. So I want to make sure I'm not taking this wrong again. So I'm just wondering what country your guest is going to be from.
So again, just to say, sorry if I'm being thick here. This Saturday's podcast, it's just a me and Kim show. It's just me and Kim, and the I'm not sure where you're getting that I've got a guest from. Are you referring to the Action Podcast this Saturday, or are you referring to the new stream that I'm working on?
It's a mystery one. I'm just asking what country the guest is from.
I think he's referring to that one week where you had that one like little Muppet thing, Orange Man. It was like some sort of Muppet looking thing. That's what.
If anything, this is getting more confusing.
Yes, I'm just going to say England, because everyone I'm working with in the next coming months are all English people.
Okay.
So so it by default alone, whatever you're talking about, they will be English.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh my God! I thought I was having a stroke.
Me too.
Well, you gotta admit, I keep things interesting.
Brilliant.
Oh, speaking of you, I wanted to show you something. Remember how last week we were talking about the Doom, and we were talking about the Wolfenstein?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's your opinion on, like, we talked about that they remade the Doom. What's your opinion on that they set this like 200 years into the past?
Wait. Go ahead. You were saying, hang on a second there. I just need to see if I need to pick up context. Hang on. Oh, you're talking about that is set in the past? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, calling Orville, calling Keith.
No, how about no? No, thank you. No, you don't need to reinvent Wolfenstein. No. You either continue the old one and you improve upon it, meaning that you set a timeline. I don't know. There are a lot of things not needing a prequel more than one's needing a sequel. I don't need a re-explanation of the events. I just need a game I know is fun, and the ending would have to be such where it would support a thing like a story, if that makes sense.
Well, speaking of that, talk about a prequel. Did you hear what they did with what's your opinion on the Call of Duty one?
I have no opinion on Call of Duty because I haven't followed the franchise closely, nor do I intend to, since the only Call of Duty I recognize is the one that was World War II centric. That's just me. Because
that's that one.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that they were gonna. Well, we'll see. It's like at the same time, I don't need a reboot. That's what it looks like to me. I could be wrong, but
I wonder if they could do a style of game like that set in medieval times, but the whole thing is like you've got to rescue a princess in shiny slippers or something. Do you know what I mean? Amazing.
Ooh, Call of Duty's Grim Fairy Tales edition. Oh. Or Call of Duty, terminate Santa Claus. Ah!
Speaking of Santa Claus, Monkey, how many Santa hats do you have, and how many different colors have you got?
A lot. I wear this. I wear the shirts. I wear everything all the time. I mean, just hold on 1 second. You won't believe what I even got right near me. 1 second. 1 second. Always got this stuff near. 1 second. 1 second. Can't wear it without the da 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 da.
What is it?
The Rankin Bass special. Christmas. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Uh-huh. Da 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 da.
Is Rankin Bass a company that still produces stuff, or is it something from the past?
From the past.
Oh.
I think
Mickey Rooney and that Jerry Reed, right, Tim?
I don't know if they were in that one, but I was trying to tell.
Mickey Rooney doing the voice of Santa Claus, and Jerry Reed doing the voice of the postal worker telling the story.
Okay, well, I'm trying to tell Monkeyboy that Rankin Bass, that I think they ended their run of company with the original Thundercats cartoon in the 80s.
Oh wow, I didn't know they
didn't they. Wasn't Silverhawks after, or was that before?
Yeah, that was after, but I think Thundercats was one of their last big ones, because I don't think Silverhawks was as popular as Thundercats.
Yeah, because and you can tell that they're all sort of similar productions, because they used all similar voice artists throughout all their stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, and then there was the comic strip which had tiger sharks in it.
I have no idea where I pull this knowledge from. Why do I know this stuff?
I didn't know. If you'd have asked me what company produced Thundercats, I would not have said Rankin Bass. I had no idea.
It's the same company that made the animated Hobbit TV movie and did the animated Hobbit sequel, Return of the King.
Because I think I heard a rumor somewhere that at one point they wanted to do but they never got around to it. They wanted to do a Thundercats and a Silverhawks crossover, but it didn't. They never got round to it, or whatever reasons. But that would have been weird. But yeah. As crossovers go, why not?
Monkeyboy. This is what I'm talking about. This is the little pinks. Cool. This is Skeletor from the looks of it. And Skeletor.
Yeah.
You can't really make the detail out, but this is He-Man. So.
They look like the muscle figures.
Ah.
Or as us 90s children would say, monster in my pocket.
Yeah. No, they look like the Super 7 muscle figures.
Interesting.
But they, you say you got them in one of these mystery boxes.
Yep.
That's bizarre, because they would normally come in a 3-pack. If they are the Super 7 ones, they were released in packs of 3. And I believe there were four packs you could get. So I think there were 12 in total. So it's strange that you've got 2 loose ones. Yeah. But they do look like the Super 7 ones.
Oh, I need to have words with Monkey. Seeing this bloody Christmas hat and Rankin Bass, I know there's leftover Christmas cake, and I'm now cutting a slice of it. Oh.
Excellent.
Oh, but how can you not like Christmas cake?
Mandalorian cup. Mandalorian container.
And by the end of this stream, I'm going to have type 2 diabetes because this slab of cake could have plugged the hole in the side of Titanic.
Yeah.
Andrew saying the Hobbit movie is underrated. I haven't seen that one.
It was
I'm not having a wee. I'm running a glass of water. I do apologise for the noise.
Oh, okay. When was it from, Tim?
I think 77.
Wow.
Yes, Joe Dubecki, they did Return of the King, which was basically just the sequel. I know Ralph Bakshi did an animated Lord of the Rings movie that was partially rotoscoped, where they traced over live action actors in some parts, but it wasn't a finished film. He released it anyway, but it was just the Fellowship of the Ring plus the first half of Two Towers.
Mm.
Oh.
And then Rankin Bass pretty much finished it up, since they already did an animated Hobbit TV movie. Then they did the third part to Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
All right.
Okay.
I didn't know that Masters of the Universe was rotoscoped. I know Betty Boop was rotoscoped.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the Motu the original Filmation Motu cartoon now, if you can really see how it was done on basically a shoestring budget, really. There is so much reuse of the cells and stuff. They would just flip them over and use the reverse image, and there were so many. Like every time He-Man did a battle roll, or Skeletor did a battle roll, it was the same animation. So they used it throughout every episode. There wasn't that much unique animation used for a lot of the action.
Well, they used to do that in the entire run of the Three Stooges. Anytime, even after he died, they used the footage whenever they would throw up a pie at Curly or the one that replaced him. They always used old stock footage from an earlier, pie throwing that they recorded of him for a lot of that stuff. And so even till they stopped, they kept using that same footage of that pie throw, because the one actor they got was a jerk and did not want a pie throw in his face. But to keep them having the Three Stooges, because the original actor got pneumonia and died, so to keep it up, they kept using that old footage. Like, they would shoot the footage of, and then that section where he gets the pie in the face when it throws at him, that's the part they kept using from Curly.
Oh.
But as far as Santa hats, Action Pop, what do you have against Santa Claus hats? I was eating cereal from the cup, so what were you talking about?
I didn't say I had anything against it. I said it inspired me to cut the Christmas cake, and I'm now cutting another slice.
Oh, well then, Feliz Navidad to you.
Was it a homemade Christmas cake or a store?
No. I'm gonna admit it is Marks and Spencer's.
Ooh, nice.
It's like one of those slabs that you buy that's like a rectangle.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing, because we don't eat enough Christmas cake to warrant having a giant Christmas cake. In fact, we never seem to eat Christmas cake at Christmas. It always gets left, and then I end up eating it on late night binges when there's nothing else left in the cupboard, sweet wise. So
I like this. I do like Christmas cake, I must say. I've got a couple of Christmas puddings actually as well that I haven't eaten yet. So perhaps I might treat myself to a Christmas pudding later.
Yeah, we've still got some Christmas pudding.
does anybody have any objections if we quickly run through the DVDs that I picked up this week? Is that okay with you two?
Nope.
Go wrong. Right ahead.
Go ahead.
On one condition.
What's that?
You do it in the voice of Alpha 5 from Power Rangers.
Oh God.
I couldn't do it. I've never seen Power Rangers in my life. I don't even know what
I
that
guess
is.
we're just going to have to accept you in your normal voice.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so the first thing I picked up might be familiar to anyone in the chat that's from the UK and of a certain age. You guys in America won't possibly be familiar with this, but I picked up the complete box set of Some Mothers Do Avon, which we used to call Frank Spencer, because the main character in this is Frank Spencer. So we never used to say, shall we watch Some Mothers Do Avon? We always used to say, shall we watch Frank Spencer? Now, for you guys across the pond, Frank Spencer was he was a guy that was very susceptible to bad luck and things going wrong. It was sort of slapstick. It was a slapstick sitcom, and it revolved around Frank Spencer and his wife Betty. And he used to get into all sorts of hijinks and crazy things, like job interviews or learning to drive, or there was one where he was learning to fly a plane, different things, all sorts of different scenarios, but they would always go disastrously wrong. You know, things would fall apart, he would fall over, he would say silly things, and he and Betty used to have a cat that always used to take a shit in his hat, which is his hat you can see up here. He used to wear a beret, and he always used to say, "Oh, Betty, the cat's done a whoopsie in my beret." So yeah,
Comedy
I picked up
genius.
the box set of that. So yeah, it's really good. I mean, now this starred Michael Crawford, who was a very well-respected TV and stage actor, and he was very good in this. I'm not sure how well it stands up to the test of time, because I haven't watched it for many years. But I found this at the charity shop for £3.50, and I thought I'll have that. So it's got all 3 seasons, plus the three Christmas specials as well. So that was my first pickup. There's Frank Spencer there. There he is with his beret on.
Finally, a British TV show that America did not remake and rip off.
This is really good. I mean, I don't know if this is available on YouTube and places like that, but this, I mean, I used to fall about laughing at this when I was a child. There's one episode where he gets some roller skates and he puts these roller skates on, and he just goes through the whole town on these roller skates. It seems like the whole town is downhill, because he just crashes through so many things on these roller skates. But it's very, very well written and very well choreographed physical comedy. They don't really make shows like this anymore. I think health and safety would probably prevent actors from doing this kind of thing now, because he, for the most part, he did all his own stunts, and crashing through tables and through windows and all sorts of bizarre things. So I was very happy to find that at the charity shop. I already did own season 1, and I didn't know there was a box set available. So when I saw this, I had to grab it. So that was my first pickup. My next pickup was a classic that I may already have. I'm not sure if I had this or not, so I bought it again in case. And that's obviously the classic Blade, the first Marvel superhero film. I believe that was the first one that Marvel produced. But
if I may say, your country has different artwork than here.
Yes, it does. Yep, absolutely.
And if I may say, I would actually prefer that artwork over the bland version we get here.
Yeah, I mean, it is different for the different markets, isn't it? Some of the US artwork I really like. Some of the UK stuff is better. It really depends on who's distributing it and how they choose to market it. But this is the classic image of Blade. This is what you would have seen back in the day when it came out. But I would say most of us have probably seen Blade. I probably won't watch it again anytime soon, but I figured I'd pick it up, for a quid. Why not? And the same thing with this one. I got the 2-disc. Is it 2-disc? Yes, I got the 2-disc edition of Top Gun because it's a film that I didn't own, although I've seen it several times. I didn't own it, so I thought I'd pick that up. Obviously, most of us have seen Top Gun before.
And
yeah.
I feel it's far superior to the sequel.
I haven't seen the new one. Do you mean Maverick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I'd like to see it, but I haven't seen that yet. And then the last DVD that I picked up was oh, what have you got there? Oh, it's gone. Was
yeah,
the
he's
Omen.
got Suitable Flesh. Looks like it's a horror movie.
Oh, okay. Sexy and Outrageous.
Yep.
Body Swap. Oh, okay. That sounds cool. I like body swap films generally. They're quite fun.
Yeah. And interesting fact about this one, it actually stars. Remember that one actress that people didn't like very much? The one that was in Bowfinger, and then she was in Lost in Space.
Oh, I don't know.
Heather Graham.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't think it was a problem with people not liking her. I know she was in the second Austin Powers movie, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Well,
yeah, she was very popular in the UK. I had a poster of her, a giant poster of her on the back of my door for many a year.
Yeah,
and in fact, it's still incorporated in my channel artwork.
I'm just saying, you can't really think of like 7 films she was in, but you can think of at least this and the Austin Powers and the Lost in Space.
Boogie Nights, The Guru, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Yeah, you said the other one, so it's about what, 5, 6. Monkeyboy, did you have any more DVDs this week?
Yep, I got the last one that I picked up at the charity shop again for £3.50. I found the Omen Pentology. So this has got the first 4 Omen films. Omen, the 30th anniversary edition. It's got Damien Omen 2. It's got Omen 3, The Final Conflict. Omen 4, The Awakening. And it's also got the remake of The Omen that was done in 2006.
Yep.
So I picked that up for £3.50. I thought that was a really good buy. Tim, have you seen The Omen?
And I've seen parts of it, and I think I saw like maybe the last 50 to 60 minutes of the second one, Damien, The Omen 2.
I didn't know that.
And I've seen bits of the Final Conflict, the third one.
Okay, I've only seen the first one and the remake, so I haven't seen any of the sequels that were made. So I don't know if they're any good or not. But I thought for £3.50, that was probably a good.
You can't go wrong at that. You can't go wrong at that.
The Sam Neill one.
I
think you'll enjoy the Sam Neill one.
Which one's that?
It's
That's
on the cover.
Third one, Final Conflict. Yeah. That's where he's grown up.
Okay, cool. So I'll give those a watch. I'll probably have an Omen marathon at some point and sit and watch them all, one after another, or maybe over a couple of days. Give them a look.
Sorry for the interruptions. All I did was just hold it on screen. I was waiting my turn, Monkeyboy.
No, you're okay, man.
Oh, and by the way, Action Pop, I'm sorry I got what you said wrong. Like I told you, I was eating cereal when I was hearing what you were saying, and I'm sorry I took it the wrong way.
You don't have to apologize, man. You've not done anything wrong. You're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. Do not worry. Believe me,
Thank you.
believe me, I'm the most patient person on the planet, and I can put up with a lot of stuff, and you've not done anything to even go on my radar of annoyance, mate. You're fine.
Thank you. So to get you back on track, did you get anything else cool, Monkeyboy?
Well, I did receive a very kind gift from Dean over at All Things 80s. He sent something to me last week, and it arrived yesterday. But I don't know what it is yet. I haven't opened it. I'm going to open it on camera this weekend. So I do have some nice surprise from Dean, but I don't know what it is, I'm afraid. So I could not give any further details.
Wonderful.
Thereof.
I love live unboxing videos. That's going to be amazing.
Well, the package is quite heavy. I don't know what's in it. I didn't know Dean was going to send anything, so it was a lovely surprise. And yeah, I look forward to opening it this weekend. I shall probably do the video on Saturday if I can. If not, I'll do the video on Sunday. But it will be going up on the channel on Sunday evening. So yeah, I look forward to opening that and seeing what Dean has so very kindly sent me. Gerard saying that Dean is a legend and a stand-up dude. Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's very kind of him to send me something. Dean saying that the cover letter is addressed to Skeletor, so please make sure he's part of the unboxing. Okay, I will. Okay, brilliant. I will do that. Yep, no problem. I look forward to that very much. Thank you, man.
Speaking of that, did Skeletor disassemble the big Skeletor, or did the big Skeletor put him in the jar that Beastman stores in the fridge?
You'll have to wait and see. You'll have to stay tuned to the channel to see what happens.
I will.
Yep, I can't give anything away at this stage.
So, Tim, did you pick up anything?
I think I showed it earlier. It was just action figures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's got Ben Kenobi and Luke figures. Very nice ones.
Well, cool. Lester, did you get anything?
I showed the Lego Link and the Lego Link and the comics. I also got a Vegeta button. Let me see if I can. If you want to see that, I had a bunch of stickers, but I plastered them on my. I plastered them already on my work. What I call it, my work hutch, which has like cabinet doors. I have a bunch of stickers and a bunch of flair. But this is my. Let me see if I'm oriented the right way. So this is the Vegeta button. It was part of the box delivery from my sister, the second one. So, but I had
it's like a pin badge.
Yeah, pin badge. I call it flair, homage to Office Space. If you guys ever seen that movie, Jennifer Aniston's character was always talked about her flair. So I call it that. It's like you got to have the right flair. It's all about having the right flair. But that and a bunch of stickers, right? I just go boom, boom, boom.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can everyone see the resemblance between Orville and Robert Monkey? Look.
Mm-hmm. They're both green colored.
There's something about Robert Monkey. There's something about him. His true colours are to be revealed, but there's something about him.
And Monkeyboy Andrew is asking in the chat, do you watch movies with Skeletor?
I do, Andrew. Yes, I do actually. Because Skeletor lives by my television. I don't put him away or anything. He lives right next to the TV. So yeah, he sees movies with me. We're both watching Supergirl.
Can Skeletor hear me now?
Well, not at the moment. Yes, he can. Yeah.
Skeletor, in this week's Skeletalk, you look like you've lost a load of muscle mass. You need to get to the gym. You're looking small and weak.
Skeletor, did you hear that?
Yes, I fucking did.
Ooh, such language.
You're all right, Skeletor. The stream's been going for long enough. You can get away with that swearing, but ordinarily I would advise against that. Yeah. He's
he just looks so small and puny.
I know.
Very small and puny this week.
I know. Well, I think this weekend he's gonna be well, let's just keep an eye on the channel this weekend. I think I think things are going to come to a head. I really don't think he was very impressed with the Skeletor that I bought last week. So, yeah.
This has got to be difficult when it's like a body crisis issue, isn't it? Because one, he's losing mass, so he's starting to look just average at best, and I'm being kind. Yeah, and two, the new Skeletor is just so hench and manly.
I know, yeah.
Like, he's a real man.
So basically, you're saying the new Skeletor.
He's crying now.
So your body shaming Skeletor. Your body shaming Skeletor.
I mean, this is a guy who confessed to burning. This is a guy who confessed to burning Christmas trees and telling kids that Santa had died in an accident just before Christmas. I mean, I have no shame. I don't feel any shame or remorse.
Well, speaking of Christmas, have you seen live action pop my blinding Christmas cheer?
I can't say I have, if I'm honest. So that's unfortunately that's a no. But there is an amazing thing that I like to watch every Christmas without fail, and it's called The Empire Strikes Back, and that's the best Christmas movie ever.
Oh, look, I'm blinded by my Christmas
Must
cheer.
die on that hill.
And Travels and More, Jason's going, I guess, to bed. He says, see you all later.
See you, Jason.
Have fun chatting.
See you, Jace, mate. Always good to see you about.
Thanks for stopping.
Ooh, some weird audio, Jeddah.
Yeah, I don't.
I guess we're coming up for 2 hours. Tim, do you want to start wrapping things up?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to wrap things up because.
Would it be all right if I asked? Sorry to interrupt you. Would it be all right if I asked Nick just to give us the details of his podcast on Saturday again? Would that be okay?
Okay.
Cool. Nick, do you want to tell us just briefly again about your podcast this coming Saturday?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Saturday, 8:15 GMT. Unfortunately, I don't know the American conversions, but if you click the link, it will automatically work out for you. Action podcast, me and Kim Gonnick deep dive into the Orange Tango guerrilla advertising campaign of the 90s. The episode's called Slap. Please do come along for the live premiere. We'll be in the comment section and we'll chat to you all if you want to ask any questions or just or if you just want to come along. And I think Skeletor might be there, so if you just want to come along and insult Skeletor, absolutely fine. So welcome.
I will put a
Saturday 8:15.
This coming Saturday at 8:15 UK time. So I think that will be 3:15 Pacific I think, but
Okay.
I'm not
Sure.
sure. But what I will do is I will put a link in my community tab on my channel and on Skeletor's channel. I'll put a link in there. So guys, if you just follow that link and set a reminder for Saturday night, and if you guys would like to show up and support the Action Podcast and learn all about the quite controversial advertising campaign that was in the 90s in the UK for an orange soda that upset an entire nation.
Yes.
Well,
thank you for the plug.
No worries.
What do you know?
And Dean from All Things 80s has asked if he can make a shameless plug. Of course, Dean, no problem. I assume you're referring to your live stream tomorrow night. I think it's at 8 p.m. UK time. I believe that's 3 p.m. Pacific, I think, but Dean will correct me if I'm wrong. Dean has just passed 20,000 subscribers.
Oh, excellent.
So that's great news. Congratulations to Dean.
Yeah, well done, man. That's awesome.
There will be a live stream.
Congratulations.
Indeed,
Congratulations.
there will be a live stream tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Yeah, connection, like Wi-Fi.
Congratulations.
Just say it, Monkey. Just say it. Don't worry about disrupting people.
Congratulations, Dean. You earned it. I hope you go out and get yourself a Christmas cake. If you need a recommendation, I'm sure Action Pop can recommend a very tasty Christmas cake for you. You deserved it.
Indeed. So yes, Dean's saying it's tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. UK. And Dean is saying it'll probably be a Q&A, so get your questions in. Nothing is off limits. Okay. Good. I'll be there. So yes, it's a celebratory live stream to mark the occasion of Dean passing 20,000 subs, which is absolutely fantastic. So
awesome. I will be there.
Hope to see all of you there.
I'm very surprised Skeletor did not chime in saying, Monkeyboy, when am I gonna pass 20,000? Plug my channel. Plug my channel.
He's busy crying. Nick's upset him. He's crying.
Okay.
He'll have little bleached tear marks down his skull on Sunday.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you probably embarrassed him, but he's got no skin on his face, so I can't see if his cheeks went red or not. But yeah, he's well, you've hurt his feelings, but I mean that's fine. That's fine. I'm more than happy for that to happen, little bastard.
Well, whatever you do, if you go to visit him, Action Pop, don't drink anything in the fridge.
When I inevitably go up to see Dave at some point this year, and it will happen, I'm taking a Kilner jar with me, and I'm going to lock the little shit in there and bind him in salt so I can sleep easy.
Excellent. Cool. Right. Well, thanks so much to everyone for joining us this evening. Thanks, Lester. Thanks, Monkey. And thanks to Nick. Thank you, Tim, for hosting us again this evening, kind sir.
And thank you all for coming.
You're very welcome.
And let's see. All Things 80s. He's saying, are you sure those are tears running down Skeletor's face, not beads of spunk?
They probably are, to be fair.
You did it now. You got me in the mood. I gotta go. Bye. Thanks for the idea, though.
Okay.
So the Cauldron says good night, Toll.
Okay.
So
Monkey suddenly disappeared. I think he's off to feed the goose.
Yeah.
Yes, Gerard. Yeah.
I need some mind bleach.
I didn't think I would hear Tim Hayes saying the phrase "beads of spunk" this evening. So that was.
I was just reading the chat.
That's perfect. It's very good.
I snorted.
Okay, well.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you all.
Really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you all for coming. So I'm going to end the live stream now. So
see you later, everyone.
I'm waving. You just can't see.
Well, I didn't get to play my music.
Oh,
yet,
you little.
so
you can do a little bit.
I want to
do a little bit now.
Your donations are important to us. Every little you can give.
Hey, there we go. Yes, thanks to everyone who came in the chat this evening. Really appreciate you guys coming by and hanging out with us and joining in with the conversation. We do appreciate that.
Oh, this is very chill.
I know, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Kind of reminds me a bit of a Casio keyboard from the 80s, you know?
Oh, yeah. I've still got one of those somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have a mid to late 1990s one.
Oh, cool. What, one of those little sort of lap size ones?
No.
We still have the one from the 90s.
Oh, okay. It's got a proper one.
Da.
Excellent. Can you play it, Tim?
Yeah.
Wow. No way.
Oh, let's have a musical episode next week where we all demonstrate musical talents.
Play the keyboard, Tim. That's amazing.
We'll hold them to it. Let's do that. Hold them to it for next time.
That's fantastic. Good work. Yes, Gerard. Yep, we'll see you over on Dean's stream tomorrow night. Don't forget, it's 8 p.m. for us this side of the pond.
Yeah, so
3
it'll be
p.m.
12 noon for me because I'm in California. So 3 p.m. for the East Coast, 12 noon for the West Coast.
Okay, cool.
California Tim, he loves his Wednesday streaming.
Excellent.
I feel inspired. Yeah, this is inspiring. I'm so inspired I might even brush my teeth before bed tonight. Used to write my tongue. Dun, 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 dun. So I sit quietly.
Cool. All right then, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you soon.
Yeah. Just a few more chats.
Yeah, hopefully these guys will be showing up tomorrow. Yep, bring your own beer. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. 1st of February tomorrow. Nice one.
Yeah. So
I'll be here.
Good night, all, and now ending the stream. So end stream.